Patrick and B have some good things to say about an RV maker and some strong words for an RV supplier.
So many people are now saying they have no blame in this. That's just not true. They do.
Welcome to the channel. I'm Liz. I have been RVing since the 80s and I make videos helping people who've had problems with their new RVs. These videos are working to wake up the RV industry. If you're a regular viewer, you know that I was able to get 4 buybacks recently. And I have an exciting video for you today because I'm checking in with Patrick and B. As you may remember, they had frame failure on their Grand Design toy hauler earlier this year, and Grand Design refused to fix it at the factory. Their local dealer was unsure how to fix it, and when the video came out, that's where you came in because you flooded Grand Design with emails, and they reconsidered and they took the rig back to the factory. Well, now Patrick and B have their rig back. They put 2,000 miles on it, and in this video they share the lessons that they've learned on their repair journey, and they touch the third rail by talking about lippert. You definitely want to stick around for that because last time lippert was talked about on this channel, I got a cease and desist letter.
Now, we did sit down with Don Clark, the CEO of Grand Design, for I think it came to RV for well over an hour. We had some questions about why did it take them so long to respond the way they were. And he admitted that slow response was, in hindsight, a mistake. And I think by their actions with these warranty extensions, they've demonstrated that they've cared, and we felt that was genuine. But where I'd like to start, and I think where we'd like to start is really thanking you and all the people out there that wrote letters on our behalf to Grand Design. And I can promise you in just my discussions with Grand Design that those letters and those comments and these videos, along with other advocates, made a difference. If you remember back then, they were unwilling to do anything we were asking. We wanted them to take it to Elkhart, Indiana, and have it fixed correctly. Without the support of this community and others, that wouldn't have happened. When you're at dealers, I really didn't have confidence in them because they didn't have confidence in themselves. When you take it to their customer service center in Elkhart, there's a lot of confidence there.
The fact that we went to the shop and met all the people, the technicians, we saw how they were doing the job in different units. Tearing them apart and build them almost from zero. That helped us a lot. Because I was looking with my eyes, that the job that they were doing, the work that they were doing. So that part gives me confidence.
You can see them, as B said, tearing down units and putting them back together very routinely. But they also inspected our rig. The way that the back part of the coach and the middle and the back are connected are done different. As we inspected the frame and those areas where those connections were made, we did not see any missing lags or screws or any flexibility in those attachments. The truth of it is, I think we all, including us, are still concerned about that. From an engineering perspective, you strengthen one area, you can move the weakness to another. And they don't believe that that's going to happen. But what they told us, that if it does, they will be there to fix that. So we've put about 2,000 miles on the RV over the last month plus traveling.
And it's just with every trip, I feel, or I want to say better. And you mentioned it today, I think, was that driving it, you feel like more confident, and I can feel it. I can feel the rides are different.
So far, so good. I think she'll tell me that she still has concern.
Well, no, the thing is that I'm still a little, what's the word, like paranoid maybe. Every time today was better, but I come inside the RV just checking for brakes and things. Everything is falling apart. No, everything is fine so far. I think that's going to take a while, for me to be fine, but it does feel much better.
It's building that confidence back.
Right.
We had lost confidence in the RV and in the industry. Thinking back to what we asked Grand Design to do, first, what did they do? They took our RV. Everybody that we met was very positive and helpful and genuinely cared about getting our RV fixed. So they really strengthened what they would call the upper frame of the front of our RV by adding some additional plate metal, gussets, additional welding to strengthen it. Instead of using lags, they used carriage bolts to go through the metal and bolt on to the superstructure to the frame. We think that should have been done to begin with. And of course, they replaced all the lags with bigger lags where they still use lags. And they really did a good job of putting some additional weld to strengthen it. Now, that doesn't come without potential issues because it adds weight to the rig, which I'll talk about. In addition to that, they replaced all the baggage doors. I think we talked about the doors coming open. We know they're better because, one, they haven't been coming, open as we drive. And when I talked to them about, what these things were and why they were doing that, they said, well, those doors had been bowed. So they were defective out of the gate. I want to pause for just a little second and talk about lippert. Lippert really got out in front, deflected all these issues to the manufacturer, whether it was frame or anybody else. I know they were very hard on you in trying to communicate that, lippert their hands weren't clean here. And that's true. They've been saying that, we just design it based on what the manufacturer requests. Well, it's not exactly true. And talking and emails I've received from Grand Design, lippert actually specified the number of lag bolts to put in them and the size. And those were failing. So they can't say that they have no role in design when they're actually creating the specifications to tell the manufacturers how to, in fact, attach their frame to the superstructure frames that the manufacturers add. In addition to that, all these parts that I'm talking about, the baggage doors and the three, they're all made by Lippert. Now, Lippert really dominates the market in parts. I kind of look at them as a monopoly in parts. They do have a role in ensuring that the quality of the parts and that the RVs are put together. And I think they got out front, got a message out. They're very smart. And then so many people are now saying, well, they have no blame in this. That's just not true. They do. And they need to come clean and do a better job in building these things and not letting a manufacturer put together a product that would not be stable. We asked Grand Design to not just fix our rig, but to fix other people's rigs that had similar issues, irrespective if they were still in warranty or if they had been purchased by another owner and the warranty did not transfer. We asked that in that last video that we made. They have checked those boxes. They fixed us, and they have been fixing others irrespective of whether the rig was in warranty or if they were the original owners. When we met with them in April, after they started working on a rig, we asked them for a couple other things. We said, look, we needed extended warranty. We're concerned that, okay, we fix this and later on the issue moves. And we're not going to know that until we get some miles behind us. And we also asked them to make that warranty transferable. Their initial, there was pushback on that.
In the beginning they said, no.
Yeah, on the transferable. But then about a month back or so, they released a new warranty that was retroactive for 5 years back and going forward from the time they purchased their rig, and they made it transferable, which was very important to us because that gives us a little bit more confidence in using it for some years, that we're not going to run the warranty out. And plus, if you want to sell it, that's important to be able to transfer that to a new owner so they'll feel confident with that. So I've not seen that. I've only been in the industry, 3 years, and in those 3 years, I've never seen anybody do something like that. I haven't seen another company go that far. There's still fear, and that's to be expected. And my hope is that warranty will help alleviate some of that. We did sit down with Don Clark, and if they were committed to this warranty, that if we had issues going forward, that essentially they would have our back. That's not just for us, that's for everybody else. We felt that was genuine, just as we were hard on them when they weren't responding. The fact that they really have checked all the boxes on everything that we've asked them to do, not just for us but for others, you got to give them credit for that. I still struggle with the industry. A lot of people made decisions to get out of the Grand Design and move to other vendors. And when they did that, there was no guarantee that was going to solve their problem. And in fact, some of them had other problems with the new rigs that they purchased, which is just an indication that the RV industry's quality really needs a lot of work. We've been through that process too, where we are thinking, maybe we'll get something else. but we're so afraid to do it because we know the devil that we have, and we've put a lot of investment in this and had it fixed. So we are afraid to do that. That's unfortunate, but that's on the industry to start proving that they can develop quality products, and those that do will sell more. They'll sell to me, and those that don't, they won't get our business. We still call upon the industry to change their habits and to start building quality products so that people do not leave the lot and have to turn around and get it fixed within a day or so, or have to cancel their trips, or end up with a rig that's not usable. That's just not acceptable. And until they change that as industry wide, they're going to continue to have issues. And it's our hope that they'll get better, that for those companies who are not standing by their product, that they will start doing that. Otherwise, competition will, and they'll lose out on that business. Now, you and I know that there's people out there that no matter what Grand Design does for them, they just want to destroy them, and we've never taken that approach. Is it perfect? No. There's so many stories out there that I continue to see where people are struggling with them, and I'd like to share some lessons around that too, in terms of people that are looking to buy things. They really need to do the research. And so, for example, when you have a case where a company doesn't respond, I mean, we just mark that company off our list. It's not that you won't have some issues with RV, it's how does a company respond when you do. If there's a company that's clearly not taking care of its customers, that people should just run from that. It's so critical to understand that they need to do their research, that they need inspections, have multiple eyes looking at these rigs before they ever sign on any dotted line. Whatever your house budget is to maintain it, you might want to triple that in an RV. You have to do maintenance on your air conditioner, you have to have your bearings repacked every year. These aren't small, inexpensive things to do, okay? But you have to do them. And if you're not committed to doing that maintenance on your rig, then I question why you would buy it, because I can guarantee you that if you don't do it, your rig is not going to last as long as you would like it to.
It's like a house. And it's funny because every time we go to a campground, I go around talking to people because I want to learn small units, big units. And it's kind of funny. Everybody talks about the same, this broke and then we have to repair this. And I go like, okay, that's the way these units are. It's like you said, the roads are tough also, and the maintenance and the weather affects the units on the outside. Everything affects. So
the decision on keeping your rig or trading it out and then getting another rig because of that concern is really an individual decision, right? It depends on how confident you are that they would fix that if that became a problem. And what I would say is the reason why we haven't gone down that path is because it's not a cheap path to go down. It's an expensive path, and you're losing a lot of the money that you invested in the rig that you have. So our approach has been strengthen this rig, which we have, and we've done some other things. We did put some independent suspension on it to reduce some of the impact of roads, and so that's cheaper for us to do than go out and buy a whole nother rig and take a significant loss on the rig that we have. And having said that, so far in the 2,000 miles that we have, we feel like it's like a tank. It's pretty solid. But in a year from now, could that change? Of course. So I can't really give them confidence that, hey, don't worry about it, I can't do that. It's just going to take time and see how this plays out. Not that we won't maybe change rigs at some point in time. For now, the answer is no.
I'm trying to convince him to go to a smaller rig.
We started with the biggest thing we could find in a fifth wheel, pretty much. And what we've learned is, a fifth wheel is very different from some of these C-class and A-class in terms of, how much weight that they can allow in these rigs. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. So if they strengthen this rig with additional metals, well, it then reduces the amount of capacity you have for hauling your toys and what you can bring with you. I mean, Don commented on that. He said, we know you want to take all of your stuff, and that's what we would like to do, but we also know that we really can't. For us, the toy hauler, we're not going to be bringing our razor in the toy hauler anymore. My advice to somebody who wants to get a toy hauler, if your goal is really to haul things around in the back of the toy hauler, you really do need to watch your weight. Maybe that's where you start thinking of a Super C that can pull and tow tens of thousands of pounds, where you could put your toys behind that in a trailer and pull that behind. We see a lot of people doing that. This is not something we want to do. It's a bit of a trade-off. You can't have everything in these rigs. Otherwise, you're going to be overweight. And I'll leave that to the industry to figure out how they do that. But I could say going out there and putting significantly heavier gauge metal in these toy haulers, if they do that, you're going to have to buy a bigger truck. I wouldn't have that problem with the Super C, with a Freightliner pulling it down the road with a trailer, because those things are built for that. They did what we've asked them to do, and I attribute that again back to the advocacies of so many people, including this channel and other Facebook groups and all the letter writing that really got them to start to refocus on their claims of being customer focused and standing by the product. It's not been perfect. I know there are people out there that are still struggling. I know that everybody's experience is not the same as our experience, but we have heard from so many others where their experience has been similar to ours, and that's good. And there's probably some people out there who wish we had a horror story to tell, and I know some of them, but we just don't have that. And I'm happy for that, because that's a good thing. When somebody does good for you, that's positive, and you need to reflect on that.
Well, I think it's super important to use this channel not just to call out the RV manufacturers that are doing it wrong, but to also shine the light on Grand Design and other manufacturers who are at least responding to their customers and trying to do better. So thank you, Grand Design. If you have any tips that you want to share in the comments for RV shopping, please do so. And if you found this video valuable, please like, subscribe, and share. I've been saying this for a year and a half. If you are shopping new or used, you definitely want to get an inspection. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.